going on, everybody? I'm Chad.
I'm Gavin.
Welcome to the Skunk Ape Podcast.
Episode 2.
Episode 2.
We're going to be talking about me and my backstory. Episode 1, we went over Chad. You will see we look different than what we do in the podcast. This intro is being recorded at a different time. But anyways, hope you all enjoy the podcast. If you do, go ahead, like it, subscribe, and share it.
And don't forget, at the bottom, we also have all of our social medias, so give those a follow as well. And don't forget to always let us know what you want to hear from us next.
Yep. All right. See y'all in the episode.
Yeah, so the sloth cage you saw is getting done.
Dude, it looks good. Also, we might edit some of this out, but I've already started recording just to make it easy.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're just shooting the shit at this point, but yeah, we got the sloth cage done. You've seen it maybe on TikTok too. I don't know if it's been on TikTok.
I've seen it on everything that Chris has posted it on.
Yeah. So we went out there last night and we were like, I wonder how strong these ropes are. So we're all hanging from the ropes and swinging back and forth. And it's like, and then I throw my son up on top, and it's like, he's a sloth-sized human being, so let's throw him up there. And
so when are y'all adding him into the enclosure?
We got a few things to finish up. We're trying to figure out. I always say we because at this point it just seems like a we. Let me preface: 90% of the animals that I talk about are not my animals. They belong to Chris. I just help Chris out. But we have to figure out a way to divide out the. Basically, put a vent on the top, and so that in the summertime we can have, because they have their own air conditioning system in their enclosure.
Yeah, that's sweet. Actually,
yes.
What the hell?
Yeah,
that's so
they have. Yeah, so in the summertime when it's warmer, because they need to be at like 90 degrees all the time. So in the summertime when it gets warmer, we're going to be able to pull down the vent up top, so that way the air can flow through the entire mammal building.
That's sweet.
And then in the wintertime when they need to have the heat and everybody else doesn't, we can.
So are they in a separate building than all the other mammal cages?
Well, so the only mammals that I have at my house right now are the sloths. We used to have the sloths and the tenants.
Well, I mean, I guess in the future, like is this big cage that like Chris just posted? Is that in the same building as all the other mammal cages he's working on? Yeah.
So if you walk in the building now, you walk straight in. You walk into like a food prep area and prep area. So we got a prep sink. Eventually, we're going to put a washer and dryer in there so we can clean stuff.
Sweet.
Refrigerator, freezer, things of that nature. And then you walk in. I don't know if we have it figured all out yet. There are some surprises that are coming this week. Some are coming from Florida, but I'll let. Hopefully, the next couple of weeks we'll be able to. No, I can't.
I think I know what y'all are getting. I want a baby if it's what I think it is.
We'll let Chris we'll let Chris disclose the new things that are coming mammal wise when we have him on in a couple weeks. But basically, you're going to have when you walk in. So the two middle enclosures have a smaller outside portion.
Oh, really? That's sweet.
So the end enclosures on the back and the front side are larger outdoor enclosures. So, of course, Bendy, the bear cat, who is Chris's princess, I think the only woman that he loves more than his wife and his daughter is Bendy. And sometimes I don't even want to say that. I'm not going to say that. We'll edit that out.
Hopefully she doesn't watch.
But Bendy she's the queen, so she gets to have
how big is
a very large. She's big.
They can get like what 70 pounds, 60, 70.
Yeah,
or is that
probably?
Males?
I mean, probably right around there. I mean, she's big.
She's around that size already.
Yeah, she's pretty hefty.
Oh,
I mean, I don't know.
I didn't realize like she was that. She doesn't look that big in the photos and stuff.
Well, I mean it's hard to tell because when you see her in person, I mean her tail's probably 3.5 feet long.
Gosh, it's so cool.
Like it's nuts. So Bendy's going to have a big outdoor enclosure, and then the indoor enclosure is actually the same size as her enclosure she's in now. So she's going to have almost 2.5 times plus more height than her enclosure she has now.
Oh yeah.
Next to Bendy is going a special surprise that shall remain nameless. It's a surprise for Chris to unveil. And then beyond that are going to be the lynx. And they have another large outdoor.
What kind of lynxes are they? Do you all have?
Eurasian lynx.
Okay.
Eurasian, yeah. And they're just temporary in there until we get the actual link enclosure done. So they're going to have their own individual enclosure where they have quite a large outdoor space that they can roam around in, and a smaller kind of I want to say it's like a 20 by 20 indoor space that also has a room. It's a 20 by 20, but it also is going to have room to where we can go into it and be able to deal with them in any way we can, because with a cat like that, you don't want to go into their enclosure in case they're having a bad day or something like that. You want to be as safe as possible. And then beyond the lynx enclosure, you're going to have the sloths, the sloth's big enclosure.
Yeah.
Which it's not done yet. We have to put a waterfall in there, or there is a waterfall in there. We just got to get it all set up.
That's so sweet.
All right, and so then right next to
are y'all gonna do anything else with them, or just the sloths?
Just the sloths for now. I mean, we might put like a guinea or something like that in there just to stir up everything, get it all cleaned up.
Yeah. Because I know at the alligator farm they had we had little tortoises in there, like yellowfoots and redfoots, and they seemed to get along fine. That was pretty cool.
That could be an option.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we haven't really discussed cohabbing different things, but I mean, as far as the sloths go, we want to get them introduced and happy.
Oh, so they've never met each other yet?
No, they can see each other through the cage because they're right next to each other.
Yeah, but
they've never been together. And then opposing the lynx is going to be another special surprise, which shall remain nameless. And then next to that is your favorite, the large spotted genets.
I hope y'all breed them. Like, I hope y'all are successful.
It will be great, and I will make sure that once we have little kits, I give you a shout, and you're coming up here.
I would love that.
And then next to them is going to be the serval, which apparently Chris is already in the works of getting a male serval.
Oh, hell yeah.
So we'll have a male and female serval in there. And, so it's going to be...
it's going to be sweet.
It's going to be awesome. And they all have dog doors going from the doors to the outside to where they can crawl through, pass through as needed.
That's cool. For the sloths, are the dog doors like arboreal?
Well, no. So the sloths are the only ones that can't go outside.
Oh,
because they're. I mean, like right now, the sloth building, which I kind of feel bad for the macaws, which I shouldn't, but I do. It's got to be 85 degrees all year long in there. 85 degrees. Like, minimum 85 degrees. We have a joke. If it's comfortable in there, it's too cold. So, yeah. So I think up until, put it this way, it was 85 degrees here today. I still have to turn the heater on out there.
That's crazy.
For them. Yeah. So that's why they have their own separate unit and whatnot. But as far as everything else, the only thing new I have on this end is my gargoyle gecko, which I don't know if we're going to put that in the editing or whatnot.
I'll put that in. I'll put that in.
happened to have an egg. I just found an egg out of dumb luck. It was in there.
So have you paired that one up, or was that like a?
Yeah. So that's actually the male with the female. I haven't bothered her too much because I don't want to stress her out in case she's holding some more eggs. But and then it looks like our what is it? In about 4 days, we're going to be digging for some Celebensis eggs.
Like,
So
that's so sweet, man.
that should be.
Are these another Partho clutch, or is this a fertile
No,
clutch?
this should be a fertile clutch. Out of the Partho eggs, only one of them looks viable.
Mm.
The other ones kind of went bad. I mean, she laid probably 14, 15 eggs that we found out of the Partho clutch.
That's a good size.
So
is this her first ever clutch? Has she laid before?
Okay. She has laid before. Wes from Sunshine Sulphurs, he's bred her before with actually the male that.
So she's proven.
The male that was, yeah, she's proven. But the male that we paired her with is actually the father of the first captive bred clutch of Celebensis in the U.S.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh yeah.
So
that's sweet.
And she's taken some time to get. I mean, because she was sent down to Wes's place. I think that's how it all worked out.
Who produced the first Celebensis?
I think it was Fox.
Okay.
Fox produced the first.
That's what I thought as well, but I didn't know for sure.
But
man, he's produced some crazy shit.
I'm.
You gonna get a Nile? I know you want one.
Probably.
I wonder how much he was asking for it.
He never told me. I think he said I think they're like $400 or $500, which isn't a bad deal.
That's not bad at all. It's like the price of captive bred mangroves. Well,
and don't quote me. No, please, nobody quote me on that. And Fox, don't get mad at me for saying the wrong price. I don't know. I would say $400 or $500 just because you want to be competitive with the market. Because someone could easily say, "Oh, well, I can go buy a $75 wild caught one." That's true.
It's like these people try to charge like $400 or $500 for captive bred Savannahs. Like you can buy 10 wild caughts, it'd still be cheaper than a goddamn captive bred.
Yeah. Well, and it's like mangroves. Mangroves, captive or wild caught, are $150.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why people are getting a little bit more for a captive bred one, because they're still over the $100 point.
Yep.
So yeah, that's probably, I would say that's where he's probably going to be. But then again, it's probably a little bit of hype. Not that it's not a big hype, because it is a huge, it's a huge thing. But he could be getting a lot more than that out of them, because they are the first ever captive bred.
Well, he only sold one. And it's already sold.
Well,
unless
but he posted up another two.
Oh, he did post them for sale?
He posted another two for sale.
I didn't know that.
And I don't know if that's from the first clutch or the second clutch. I don't know if the second clutch is hatched yet. But I know he's pumping them out.
I don't think the second clutch is hatched yet. I think it's close to hatching, but I don't think it has yet.
Okay. So then those two are from the original clutch.
Okay.
Which is fine. And but yeah, it's just a matter of, and that's the hard part about breeding Savannahs and Niles. Savannahs more so than Niles, because Savannahs, their dietary requirements are so hard with such a large lizard.
Yeah. Oh, it's so difficult. And you can buy imports for $10, $10 to $20. Right. So it's like, it's hard to. The only way that, I don't know, I think they just need to stop exporting those guys. Same with ball pythons.
Right. And then the day that they stop the export of Savannah monitors is the day that Savannah monitors are going to cost $3,000 for captive bred. And a lot of people are going to be kicking themselves because, I had a Savannah monitor back in the day, I should have bred it.
Yep.
From my understanding, everybody who's doing it, and then some of the people that you and I both know that have claimed that they have done it, that we have not seen any proof of. But
I would love to bring on a Savannah monitor breeder. I would love to hear about that stuff, because I feel like they don't get enough hype. Like, I feel like they should be talked about.
I don't know, has Alan over at Origin, has he gotten a successful clutch out of them yet?
I have no idea. I don't know anybody working with Savannah monitors. I do not know a single soul. That's why I would love to bring someone on.
Well, yeah, that would be great. But last I heard, but then again, Alan also downsized his collection when he moved out of the warehouse he was in. So I don't know if he's still doing it or not. But yeah, Captain Breeder would be great to get on because I have a lot of questions. Just because I've kept Savannahs in the past and I know I've kept them wrong. All right. Well, enough about the small talk. I talked enough last time. Let's get to know Gavin.
Let's get into
Gavin.
Chat.
What got you into exotic? We'll say exotic animals. We don't want to be reptiles because if I remember correct, you were a fish guy before you were anything, or
so
reptiles before fish.
It was reptiles before fish, but I wasn't allowed to keep reptiles, so I kept fish first. So like I got into reptiles like literally around the age of like 2. Like my dad helped me catch my first garter snake, and ever since then I just like went off the deep end, getting as many reptile books, watching all of Steve Irwin, everything I could find about reptiles. I was consuming and doing. I was going in the backyard. You know, we talked about it last episode, getting the anoles and just everything. Oh, yeah. I wasn't in South Florida though, so I didn't have as cool of stuff.
Well, but, I mean, Tampa's Central Florida now. They don't consider it South Florida anymore.
Ish, but then I got into fish keeping around. I don't know. So like my dad always had fish. So like growing up, he had 225 gallons in our living room with a big old arowana, and then the other one with a fully planted out discus tank. It was sweet, and he was dropping money on discus. He had a crazy tank, so I was obsessed with it just because my dad had it growing up, and then eventually.
So you didn't just grow up with a fish tank. You grew up with awesome fish tanks.
Oh yeah,
like still arguably to this day, people are still wanting arowanas and discus.
His discus tank to this day would make people jealous. Like it was a 125. Fully carpeted to like it was like this tall of just like micro swords, and then he had huge big old swords in the back. He was like he would have to trim the aquarium every single day. Like it was wild. And then when the other 125 had the big old arowana, and when I say big, I mean it's still to this day the biggest arowana I've seen in person. It was like 4.5 feet, definitely way too big for a 125 gallon tank. But it ended up living. It lived 17 years in that tank.
Wow!
So like it lived a full life. It was chilling. He had African cichlids in with the arowana for a little minute. Had some bashirs, and remember he had a moray eel, and it got stuck in a rock one time, and we had to take it out in the driveway and bang it open with a hammer, and it tried biting us the whole time. That thing was scary. I did not like that eel. But then I didn't get my first fish tank till I was like probably 10 or 13. And then around that age, there was actually like a local fish club I joined. And I was big in that fish club. And we'd travel all over like Florida and go to like different fish farms and do like monthly auctions and stuff. It was super sweet. I missed the little club.
Yeah.
But I didn't get my first... Well, I guess technically I had reptiles growing up. Like as a kid, I think it was like my 5th or 6th birthday. I got my first ever reptile was actually a box turtle. So I was like 5 or 6. I had him. I don't know how long I had the box turtle.
Now, was that an eastern box turtle?
I have no idea. I don't remember. I just remember it was a box turtle.
So probably one of those ones that you caught outside that you weren't supposed to have, but you ended up having anyway.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Knowing my dad. And then I had a bearded dragon for a couple of years, and then after that bearded dragon passed away, I didn't really keep anything. I ended up just doing the fish stuff for a little minute, just doing school. I was always told if I got good grades, I could get a snake, but I never got good enough grades to get the snake. So that was pretty much like how it started, and then it moved on to like going to camps and stuff. Like so, I used to do summer camps as a little kid, and then that's how I got involved with the alligator farm in St. Augustine. I ended up becoming a camp counselor through there.
At what age did you start working with crocodilians?
Like hands-on, it didn't start till I was probably like my teenage years. I don't remember. I can't tell you the exact years. And it wasn't like anything crazy. It was just like, like it started off just holding taped animals, working with them, learning the body language. But eventually, like Now, granted, I was also like a volunteer / intern during all my years there, so it wasn't like I was an actual keeper. I didn't get to go in and work with these animals like hands on. But I would bring out catch the little baby gators, do little shows with them. I did all the behind the scenes tours, so take some of them out, do all of that, and then because I wasn't technically supposed to be allowed to be taught this because of my position, because I was just been there so long and everyone liked me. While my friend Nina was training one of my other interns, Grayson, how to pull and we ended up being trained how to do that as well. So that was pretty cool. So that happened when I was around 16, 17.
Oh, okay. But still, I mean, to be in high school and
it was the best, and it sadly because
definitely a flex.
And it was only in the summertime because I lived in Jacksonville, and obviously, but I grew up and lived in Jacksonville, but every summer we'd stay with family and camp down on the beach in St. Augustine. So during the summers, I would be at the alligator farm pretty much all summer long. It was fun. I've learned so much from them, and because of them, that's why I'm so I love the conservation aspect of everything. They kind of drilled that into my mind, and I'm appreciative of it.
Yeah, and it's definitely, I mean, you definitely know more about crocodilians than I do.
I don't know that much. I'm still learning.
Well, you still know more than I do, and I mean, and I get to mess with them.
Yeah,
I get to mess with them daily, and I don't know anything, so that's why I always consult you. So,
dude, I learned so much there. It's crazy, and there was just the amount of people that I got to meet and just interconnect with at that place was wild. It was my best years so far. I'm loving what I'm doing now, but if I could go back, I would, and I might one day. I might become a keeper there one day if I get my degree.
So for the people that don't have crocodilians or are interested in crocodilians, everybody wants to handle them, right? I mean, that's what everybody wants to do. What advice, even for me, because I still hesitate to hold my caiman, what advice would you have on the handling aspect of crocodilians for the person that's wanting to get into them or has one and is somewhat tentative about going and dealing with them?
Honestly, don't handle them, in my opinion. Just the less handling, the better. Obviously, just for trust purposes and everything, but too much handling really stresses them, and they can build up that lactic acid and stuff inside their stomach and could lead to death if you handle too much. So I always just recommend don't handle. But if you really have to handle and you have to grab, never hesitate. Just do it. If you hesitate, you're gonna lose a finger. Or something bad's gonna happen depending on the size of the crocodilian.
Yep. Fast hands, don't hesitate.
Yep.
That's
especially with the caiman.
I remember you telling me,
because the caiman have that. They're missing a vertebrae in the back of their neck,
they have
they can twist.
They have an extra one.
It's extra. That's what it is. I knew it was
one
of those.
Yeah, because I
so
know
fast.
I grabbed him and he goes and whips around and almost gets my pinky. I'm like, how'd you even do that?
Mm-hmm. We were doing a tour one time and we had a Johnson or a freshwater crocodile, a little baby, probably maybe that big, and it was it was born with no eyes, so it was completely blind, but was totally healthy and happy. It would eat because they have all the ISOs and everything. They're able to sense. But my friend was doing the tour, and she went to go grab the crocodile, and she just hesitated for a second, but it wasn't it's a blind crocodile, not that big of a deal. She goes in there and just immediately gets her finger. She was just a little bit too slow, and it sliced her finger up pretty bad. And it was a little baby, and it still did some damage.
Yeah, I can't wait for my trig to get big. I mean, he's already doubled in size.
Yeah, they're so sweet.
Yeah, and we found that he really likes to get. We buy him shiners, live shiners from the bait shop, and he's pretty skittish now. He's finally coming up to the point where he'll watch us and stuff.
Eventually, you'll get to that Kong feeding. You're almost there.
Almost there. But he's got a big floating island. You've seen the pictures of it. I have it on my Instagram too. and basically he's got a big island that takes up probably 80%, if not more, of his 300-gallon tub.
That's awesome.
So he's got a ton of room to run around in.
People don't realize how terrestrial they are.
It amazed me. But yeah, he climbs up on there.
The African dwarf crocodiles are so terrestrial. It's mind blowing. Like we have I remember we had, I don't know if it's still there. I assume it's still there, but we had an enclosure for them in the back, like a holding enclosure for whenever the ones are off display. And it was 90% land, and there was like maybe a 200, 300-gallon stock tank, probably a little bit bigger than that. But there was just a tank in the back, like in a little tiny corner of just shallow water for them. The rest was just all land, and like you'd be doing tours, and you just see them walking around on the land, especially when it got close to night, with like closing and everything. You just see him walking around. It's so cool.
But I mean, he used to just hide out under there. Now, like, we would never see him eat or anything like that. And then we threw the shiners in there, and we're feeding the other crocodilians, and all of a sudden you hear this thrashing around, and you're like, what is that? And you see the caiman swimming after. I mean, he's going so nuts over these little shiners. I was like, that's awesome.
That's sweet.
And I did take some of your advice, because it's like, I was only giving them like that deep of water. So 4 inches deep of water. But you think 4 inches on a 300-gallon stock tank, oh, that's tons of water for this little caiman. So I gave him he's probably got 9 or 10 inches of water now.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like night and day different.
Yeah, they love it.
Night and day different.
Everyone, like, I always see people, like, they always do, like, the super low water level, like, all these YouTubers and stuff. And I'm just like, for hatchlings, makes sense. But, like, once they're at, like, especially the size yours is now, like, a yearling and above, like, give them some water to swim in, and just make sure they have stuff to get up on, like, perch if they want to rest. You have the whole floating island, so you can just perch up onto it if you needs to.
I got lucky with those floating islands, okay?
Yeah, y'all got insanely lucky.
But I got 3 of them, and they're doing the trick. The big Morlet's is upset because he doesn't have it anymore, but he's outside now, so he's happier. So he's got his duckweed back. I don't know why I can't get duckweed to grow inside, but outside it grows like a weed.
Same here. I can't get it.
But all right, so you did the crocodilian thing, and then where'd you go from there?
So then COVID happened, so that's kind of what ended my step there. I also graduated, so I was planning on going to college and doing all that stuff. So I moved out here to Gainesville to go to the Santa Fe Zoo College. That was my original goal. I ended up just not attending that, and I've just been doing. So what I ended up doing instead was I ended up working at a reptile store for about 2.5 years. I don't remember how long, but worked there, just kind of just having fun at the reptile store. We had all kinds of stuff. Like, we would get all kinds of stuff in. We had retics, berms, yellow anaconda. We had a big old like a 4 or 5 year old caiman lizard that was a sweetheart. Like, we'd be able to take him out for kids and stuff. He could just hang out. I have videos, so many videos of him just on my head. We're just chilling around. He's walking around with me as I just service all the enclosures.
That's awesome.
So that's pretty much what I did from there. But we'll backtrack a little bit. So when I moved out here, I got super into fish. Because I don't know why I didn't do reptiles. I just wanted to do fish. So I started just building, going crazy with planted fish tanks. I think I ended up with 16 planted
Well, let's
tanks.
be real. When it comes to reptiles, you're in probably the worst state right now for reptiles. I mean, Florida's bad. They got rid of all the cool stuff, Yeah. I remember when I had
pythons. I want Indian pythons so bad.
When I lived down there, granted, this is a long time ago. I mean, I had the berms. I never wanted a retic because we had an importer that lived next to my aunt and uncle, and he imported a 16-foot long retic, and it was the scariest snake I've ever seen. Still to this day,
I fucking love retics. I don't care how mean they are. I love them.
So, yeah,
that's why I love scrub pythons too.
I love scrubs. Don't get me wrong.
I'm a weird. If the animal is mean, I love it. If it's nice, I like mean animals, man. I like not mean, but defensive animals, man. I like an animal that I gotta be on my toes.
But I mean, like I had to get rid of my Niles, I had to get rid of my Burmese, but I've had a total of 4 berms.
Oh wow, hell yeah!
Three,
How
4
big
berms.
were they? Like adults?
Um, well, I bought a green berm at the Breeders' Expo. The, one of the few times I ever went to the Breeders' Expo. My first time I bought a green berm. Uh, and ended up getting another one, which I was told it was a patternless albino green Burmese.
Oh hell yeah!
Whether or not what does that stick, I don't know. Um, but ended up trading those two for a car.
Respect.
So I mean, I needed a car.
Yeah.
Somebody was like, "Hey, you want this? You want to get rid of those 2 snakes?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And supposedly, like, I could never get the patternless or the albino berm to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't know why. Never wanted to eat. Every once in a while, would eat a rat or a rabbit. She was probably 10 feet long, but she was only about
pretty good
that
size.
big around.
Oh, okay. So she was a little skinny.
So supposedly, the guy that I gave her to was trying to give me the snake back because it tried to kill and eat his. Well, it tried to kill or it did kill his girlfriend's chihuahua.
Oh,
because he had it out in the backyard. Whether or not that's true or not, I don't know. That's just what I heard. It's what I remember. It could be a lie. I don't know. But
yeah,
Florida
sucks.
The rest of them, the rest of the berms, once the law changed and they were microchipping all your berms, I was like, it's not worth it to me. I do like the animals, but when Fish and Game can do whatever they want, I was like, here, you want them, you can have them. I don't even want any money. I mean, they were normals, so.
But yeah, so I had the fish tanks. I got a little Pac-Man frog for a little minute. That didn't last long. I wasn't successful with keeping a Pac-Man frog. And then after like 2 years, I finally, I think in like 2020, it may have been 2021, but 2021 or 2022, I ended up getting my first snake, which was the high white albino California king snake, I should say. Gosh, a mouthful.
Yeah, that's too much.
Yeah. So then that's pretty much what started the downfall. So I got her, I had her for a couple months, and then I ended up rescuing a ball python, and then I got a pair of chameleons, and then I got turtle, and then I got a bunch more snakes and tokay geckos and kind of everything. Because like as soon as I got the king snake, within like 6 months after, probably about 6 months in, I got the chameleons, and then another 6 months. So about a year after I got my king snake, I started working at the reptile store. So then I was just taking home animals. Like I was buying animals all the time.
Isn't it amazing when you work in a pet store how many free animals you actually get?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's terrible.
Yeah, it was
terrible.
Yeah, I ended up building a whole collection. Like I had so much stuff. Like I was telling you a little bit last time, I had the group of tokay geckos, a huge group. That was honestly the main thing I had was the tokays. And then after that, kind of just kept those for about a year, I'd say.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of, I don't know, I just wasn't maintaining everything correctly. You know, I wasn't giving the proper husbandry. I wasn't giving my time to the animals. I just noticed they just weren't looking good. So I ended up selling off pretty much everything I had, and just kind of restarted my collection from there. And now we're here.
Well, and speaking of now we're here.
Yeah, let's.
So we'll get into your big news that you have right now, which is kind of a topic that we had talked about with other people, and again, we don't claim to be the most knowledgeable people, but we'll get into that. We'll get into that in a little bit. But you have, I get to work with cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You get to work with arguably one of the coolest reptiles there is.
You talking about the monkey tails?
I'm talking about the monkey tails.
Yeah, man.
I mean,
they're the best.
I can't say that I
have
think they're pretty. I can't say that I think they're pretty, but I think they're awesome.
They're so cool.
Yeah, totally cool.
They're such a unique species. Like it's been. I got them in January, so it's been about 4 months since I've had them now, and it's been a blast. I haven't had any issues with them. I mean, they are all captive born and bred, and they were produced by Montgomery Zoo, so I mean that's a huge plus. And so it's been awesome. I'm just kind of feeding them, making sure they're fat and healthy, and hoping, judging by weight, hopefully within a year, maybe 2 years, I should have some breeding action going on. I'm not going to rush it or anything because they're just so slow in breeding. It's something I'm not even going to...
And you co-have yours too, so if it happens, it happens.
Exactly, yeah. Right. I have all 4 of mine together. I was a little scared about it at first because, you're not supposed to... Well, you can co-have males. It just depends, really. And these 4 have been pretty much raised up together their entire lives, from my understanding. They're about 2 or 3 years old, I'd say. But they were in a really small cage at the place they were at. So they ended up working out. They were getting along fine, and then also got upgraded to a lot bigger of an enclosure. They were originally in this big old tent.
Okay, so that's not who's behind you right now.
No,
that's
you can kind of see him right there. Yeah, that's the rhino.
Yeah,
the big male.
And now you're working with those because you just recently got a female.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
Honestly, yeah, you definitely know we got the female. Well, honestly, that's more of Emily's thing. I'm more of a monitor guy. I don't really like iguanas that much, but I've recently started to like iguanas a lot. But she's all about the Cyclora. So I bought this for her at a Repticon in Tampa. And I think a little bit before Christmas. I bought it for her, and then we got she bought the one from y'all whenever. Yeah. I don't know, whenever, what was it, a month ago or so? 2 months ago?
Jeez, yeah. A month and a half, 2 months ago. Yeah.
Crazy. So now we're just hoping, raising them up, and hopefully I think it's like 2 or 3 years, the females reach sexually mature, and she's already like a year, I think Chris said. So we're just going to say 2 or 3 years, we're going to pair them up and hope for the best.
Yeah.
I wonder, do you know how long it takes for regrown tails to regrow? Like, I wonder how long it's going to take her tail to get back.
She was perfect. Like, she was pristine. And then the morning that she came back, because we have a buddy of ours that goes around to all the shows, and he sells stuff, so it's like, hey, sell these off for us. She was the last one. The last one left. And she jumped out, and his son went to grab her. Just so happened to grab... Yeah, and it was like...
I mean, he's got a big old regrown tail, too, so it kind of works out. The second she heard it had a regrown tail, it made her want it even more. I was like, please, we need this iguana. It works perfectly.
And my thing is when it comes to... Nobody shows off... We're not zoos, we don't show off these animals. So, as long as they're okay, what does it matter? You know, I mean, it's not like there's a breeding defect in them. It's just something that happens. I mean, look at people with geckos.
Yeah,
I mean,
people do all the time.
How many crested geckos drop their tail?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, gargoyles, they drop it. Luckily, sorry, my male gargoyle gecko's fired down right now, so he looks awesome. I wish I could pull him out without him firing back up.
But we're hoping. They're both multi-horns, which is pretty cool. So we'll have some multi-horn rhinos, which pretty dope. I mean, I'm excited. Hopefully that goes well. We're looking for a female pectinata. We'd like to get a female pied pectinata for our male. But my absolute dream, like, if I could get an iguana species, it would be the Saba black iguanas. I've been eyeing those. They're so cool.
Is that the Rudy Cola? Rudy Cola?
No, they're I think it's Melis. I don't know the scientific name. I'm not even going to try and come up with it, but they're really cool. I'll just show you them later off stream. They're dope.
Because the Rudy Coli are the Rocky. Am I right about that?
Are you talking about the recordi?
Oh, recordi.
Yeah. Those are Cyclora species. Yeah, the Saba Black isn't a Cyclora. It almost looks like a green iguana if it was jet black with like a almost white face. It looks like the nucleus monitors.
Yeah.
It looks like that if it was an iguana.
Dude, who was it that had those? Because somebody just said they got a breeding pair or a breeding trio of them.
Yeah, Nick's got a 3.3 group. That's my absolute dream favorite water monitor species. I don't like water monitors, but I will own a pair of nucleus and a Kamini. Those will be the 2 pairs I own. Maybe some Gurus or Sulfurs.
You sure you don't want some Celebensis?
Maybe.
Give me a couple. Give me a few years, and I might have some Sulfurs.
I like mainly the indica stuff is my specialty.
I only have 3 sulfurs right now. Only.
That's crazy.
3 sulfurs, a regular or a normal, whatever you want to call it. Somebody's gonna, and then you got the Xanthic.
You got all kinds of monitors. I miss my blue tails. Those were the best. I want to get some more.
Those are cool.
They're fun to work with, man. They're like your croc. Like imagine working with your croc monitors they're smaller and not as much of assholes. Just a little bit more timid, like more flighty.
Yeah, I with our big male croc monitor, I have the utmost respect for it. I will feed you. I will not bother you as long as you don't rip my face off. We have a mutual respect. He gets fed, he gets watered, he gets misted down, which really funny that he doesn't like that. But I mean, he's awesome. He's an absolute stunning lizard.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, he's all. I mean, I wish I could handle him. He's probably, and everybody that is around will think will say it's not true, but he's probably my favorite. Like every time I go in there, I try to see him, and I try to go up to him. I mean, the Bell's phase is cool.
Bells are really dope.
Speaking of lace monitors, we should have our first. The clutch that's in the incubator should be hatching within the next month.
Hell yeah!
So that's exciting.
I wish I had the money. I would buy one in a heartbeat.
She's holding again, so hopefully we'll have some more eggs from her soon too.
Sweet. Oh yeah.
So we're finally filling the incubator, and I think we might be getting a female black dragon.
Ooh, I got a friend selling a male. Still,
I have an Xanthic water monitor that's ready to go.
That'd be sweet.
So I almost wonder what
black
would happen
dragon het Xanthics.
Yeah.
You just had to breed them back, but that could be cool.
Yeah.
Wonder what that would look like.
Black. I mean,
you don't think it would have like any different look?
I don't. I mean, I really don't. What would be cool is to see the. I still want to do the Xanthic sulfurs. Like, I really want to have an Xanthic sulfur.
That would be sweet.
I think that would be, like, an Xanthic banded sulfur would be awesome.
That would be insane. Or the Xanthic celebensis would be...
Yeah. Maybe sooner rather than later. I mean, I do have some options there.
That'll be sweet.
So, you mentioned all these things about. So you have fish, because you still have fish tanks, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I have just one, or I have 2, but one is just filled with a couple plants and a coolie loach, and one has actual fish in it. I have the Afer knife fish. I don't know if I've ever told you that, but I have a big old Afer knife fish. He's like 2 feet long, and he's a menace.
I've seen him in some of your videos.
Yeah, he's a beast. He kills anything that goes in that tank.
Why don't you have Hillstream loaches?
I've had them before, actually. I used to try and breed them. I never had luck with it, but I had a pair in a nice tank. Yeah. But the tank I have, honestly, the other tank we have, it's a 29-gallon, and it's Emily's tank. We said it's her first fish tank, and she likes bleeding heart tetras, so we're basically just going to fill it with bleeding heart tetras and coolie loaches, and just have it at that. And I don't really have much space for other fish tanks. I do have the elephant trunk snake. That thing's in a fish tank. That thing's cool. That's a really cool snake right there. I don't talk about that thing like at all, but it's sweet. It eats like a champ. You throw food in there and you see it immediately come out and start hunting.
Have you seen we used to call them freshwater dolphins. I don't know what but they look like a dolphin, except with a vertical tail. Those are pretty cool. They get big.
Oh, well, yeah, the dolphin fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are cool. I used to have they're related to the dolphin fish, the elephant trunk fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to have one
Very
of those
similar.
in my big display planted tank. I had that, rope fish. I had all kinds of cool stuff. Big old angel fish.
Yeah.
They're cool.
So you have the monkey tails.
Yep.
You have the rhino iguana.
Beardies. I got a lot of bearded dragons.
But that's more your girlfriend.
The mangrove monitors is pretty much the only other big thing I'm really focusing on besides the I guess the turtles.
Well,
the ton of turtles.
You're the second turtle man. How you went and talked about all of this stuff and didn't talk about your turtles?
That's a good point. And I have a couple snakes too, but I'm actually going to be doing a big trade here soon. I'm getting rid of my captive born and bred Amazon tree boas and going to be getting a trio of Colombian rainbow boas. I love Colombian rainbow boas. I love them more than the Brazilians. I know everyone will give me shit about that, but they're so much prettier in my opinion. And they're all head albino, so it'll be a pretty cool trio to have.
Yeah, definitely. So turtles.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into turtles because you've pushed it off. Before we get into turtles, you just recently picked up something, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And it's kind of exciting.
Oh, I'm so pumped. I'm praying. I just set her up in her cage today, so I just got a new mangrove monitor, a female, and she's currently gravid with partho clutch. So, fingers crossed it's fertile. I'm not having my hopes up, but it would be epic. I'm still going to incubate them though, and treat them like they are fertile, even if they're not, just so I can get some practice. Because I've never actually incubated my own stuff besides one clutch of turtle eggs.
So, I highly commend you for doing that. I think it's the best thing you can do, because if you don't incubate them, there's 0% chance of them hatching.
Exactly.
And it's like we had the discussion earlier on in the week about partho eggs, and like the Celebensis that we assume was a partho clutch.
Yeah,
she has bred before. She's been bred before, so it could very well be that she was holding on to some semen from another a previous lock. But due to the fact that we know what she's produced before, like how many good eggs she's had before,
gotta take the chance.
And how many were not good? Because there were only 3 that looked good out of the whole clutch, and of those 3, only 1 still looks good. And so again, we just know, what we've read, what we've heard, just like everybody else. There are people that have more knowledge than us.
Oh, 100%. I immediately, last night, I immediately texted Kai. I was like, hey man, I got this female mangrove monitor. She's about to lay a clutch of parthogenic eggs. Obviously, I'm quarantining her. I'm going to quarantine her for a few months. And I was like, how long should I wait to... There goes my lights, my timers. I was like, how long should I wait till I introduce her to my male? And he was helping me out with that. So I have my male paired up right now, but she's too small. If I'm being honest, I think she's just too small. So I'm going to, now that I have this new female, I'm going to take the old one out, and I'm going to put her in her cage by herself and just get her beefed up again, get her back up to size. And then at that point, the goal, I'll honestly try and just cycle between them. Whenever I notice one cycling, put her in with the male. Whenever I notice the other cycling, put her in with the male. And then put them in the empty enclosure and let them lay is the end goal. But I'm super stoked. It's been a dream of mine for the past 2 years just to produce them, and not many people have done it. I think there's 10 people in the entire country that's done it, and only 2 that I know of that do it consistently, and that's Kai and Matthew Dove. They're the only 2 people I know that do it consistently. I don't think anyone's done it here in
than,
Florida, so hopefully state first.
Yeah, that's one more than I know. So, so parthogenic eggs, partho eggs.
Yes.
We had the debate. Partho eggs, are they? Because originally I thought they were identical clones of the mother.
I thought,
and then
that too.
And then in talking to a few people, it's like, well, how much sense does that make? Because if they have a partho clutch, don't you think that it would be? Wouldn't they be all males?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, well, that makes sense. But now, I don't know anybody that's had partho clutches before.
The first time I ever heard of partho, I was told it was, and we were talking about ball pythons or boas. I think we were talking about ball pythons, and they are in a identical match to the mom, because I was like really confused because we had a partho at a clutch from a pied, but all the babies came out normal, and that confused me. And it's because like they're all het. They were all like het for pied, which was kind of interesting. So that really confused me, and then I found out they were all females. So then I've been under the assumption that partho clutches are all female and identical clone. But then now I've seen people in the monitor world, like Tom Crutchfield, like his croc monitor, like he is a partho male croc monitor, and I've heard of it with other breeders and stuff too. And so now I'm just like, what the heck? I'm so confused.
Because Kai's gotten a couple hatched out of
partho, and I don't know the set. I know I said in the chat that they were males, but I was kind of bluffing. I don't know. I don't know if they were males or females or not. I feel like I know for a fact. I think Jody I know Jody is a female, but I think that was his first partho, so I think it was a female. But I know for a fact, like Tom Crutchfield's croc monitor, that is a male, and it was hatched partho.
But his male, we assume, is infertile, right?
I've never heard of that before.
It doesn't make sense. I mean, both kind of things make sense from a standpoint of raising population, but raising population to have the opposite sex in there would make more sense.
Yeah,
so
and I don't know. Like I feel like I've seen people breed partho animals before. I've never heard of them being infertile, so I don't know. Who knows?
I don't know. Well, I guess we'll find out.
We'll find out. We'll find out with the celebensis, and maybe we'll find out with the mangrove.
Well, that's if the celebensis was actually partho. I mean,
that's
it
true,
could have been, it could not have been. I mean,
if you get two different sexes, then you'll know for sure it wasn't. I would say at least.
Yeah. Well, the only problem is we only have one good egg left, so it's
hard to tell.
But yeah, I mean, maybe we can get somebody on here that knows more about that than we do.
Maybe we can get Kai on one day. We can talk about that.
Kai, that'd be awesome. I don't know. That'd be really awesome.
But yeah, the goal is right now. I'm just being patient, waiting for her to lay her clutch, and fingers crossed, hoping for the best.
Still get some Sims containers ready. Get some Sims ready.
I do. I want to order the extra larges he just got. Like just one extra large.
You gotta get more than one.
I don't know if I need more than one. Do you see how big they are?
I know how big they are. I mean, I don't have any anymore because somebody decided they were going to borrow all the ones that we had here at the farm. But yeah, we got the regulars and the regulars. So the regulars hold a big monitor eggs, which I don't know how big a mangrove egg is. I know how big a lace monitor egg is.
I've seen pictures, but I don't know like any reference.
So a lace eggs are about yay big. Celebensis eggs are about the same size.
I feel like they're about that.
So we can put, comfortably speaking, about 4 eggs in an incubator.
Oh, hell
yeah. But with the extra large ones, you could put probably a dozen of those in there.
Yeah. That's perfect.
But you got to think, you're going to have turtles.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Steven just posted an incubator for sale, and I'm tempted to go drive to Jacksonville and go get it.
Yeah.
$50, and it's like a 5 foot tall incubator.
That's big. That's big.
Yeah, but I mean,
that's really big.
It's huge, but it would be. I wouldn't need anything else for a long ass time.
That's true. That's true, but it also
But you had to
sounds
think
expensive.
though, like we have 12 bearded dragons being paired up. I have 10 plus turtles being paired up. The mangrove monitors. Eventually, we'll have colubrids going. So we'll have all kinds of eggs.
Yeah.
The bearded dragon, because
So
the beardies will lay like, I mean, you used to breed them. They'll lay like one pairing. They can lay up to 3 or 4 clutches.
Yeah.
So it could be overran with eggs.
And then you can take those and
feed them,
throw those in, and 90 days later they're little babies, and then you end up with a rotation of where you have new babies every 3 weeks.
Yep. Getting into it. This is going to be the year. Fingers crossed everything goes well.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm really liking the geckos.
Mm-hmm.
All the gargoyle geckos. Hopefully I can get a deal on... I know somebody who's getting out of their cresties. Not that I want cresties, but if I can get a good enough deal on it...
I'll hook you up. I'll talk to my boy. We'll send you some day geckos.
Heck, I'm down, because that's pretty much what the little building it's gonna be the gecko haven.
Hell yeah.
So we're gonna have the geckos in there, but
turtles.
But yeah, man, I'm really excited for everything going on for you.
Yeah.
That mangrove is awesome.
That's what I'm most stoked for. Obviously, I'm stoked for the turtle projects, but that is the thing that I've been. I don't know, like that. If the first thing I ever successfully breed and produce is a mangrove monitor, that would be pretty nuts. I'm not like that would be so cool. Like I'm not doing it because of that. Like I'm absolutely in love with the species and the whole genus and complex, but it'd be cool.
When are you getting peach throats?
I had one. I don't know if you knew that. I had one for a little while. Ended up parasites. Just damn imports. I want to get them eventually. Eventually, I'll have every single Indicus complex member. When I have my property, you can mark my words. I will have 10 by 10 by 10 enclosures in a row. Every one of them.
Yeah, the only Indicus that I would want to have is the peach throat.
Yeah.
I've wanted one ever since.
They're beautiful, especially like some of the locales are stunning. They're so like the one I had a blue tail. It almost looked like a blue tail monitor. They had a big old peach throat. It was pretty.
Yeah. And that's the crazy thing about the Indicus complexes. There's so many different locales.
Oh yeah, it's nuts. I have a researcher over in like UK or something he's one of the leading guys in the Indicus complex. He's actually the one that is writing all the paperwork for CITES and all that for them. And he's sending me he's about to send me his entire flash drive of pictures he's collected over the years of each different locale and all the data he has on them. Like, I'm trying to learn as much as I can about them, because nobody really knows them. Kai knows them a little bit, and John knows them. Those are the only two people I know that have any true, and Matthew Dove are the only people that have true knowledge in the Indicus complex. And even then, it's very, very little. Like, no one in the world really knows much about them.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and to me, it's
they're an interesting species. I'm telling you, if you start seeing a lot more captive born, I think they could make good monitor pets, because they're known for being shitty pets because of how timid and defensive they are. But go to Kai's page right now and go look at his captive born and bred mangroves, dude. He has them just hanging out on his head, walking up his arms, just like a little baby Asian water monitor, just smaller.
Yeah. Now, is it the? Again, I'm going to butcher this name. Is it the Colii?
Yeah, Colii.
That's got like the white and the blue and
those are that's what he mainly.
That's the one he's been. Yeah, he's the one. He's been breeding those pretty.
From my knowledge,
pretty regularly.
One of 2 people in the world that's bred them. They're sweet.
Yeah, that's one that I like the looks of.
And they get small. He was telling me his biggest one is 3 foot.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I didn't realize they're that small.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the Indicus complex.
There's just
everyone's got a different taste, and that's one thing that's cool about the reptile world, dude. You can't. Everyone has something else, unless you're a ball python guy, then you don't count.
Yeah, no, you don't count. Are
you really in the reptile game if you only work with ball pythons?
No, you're
not.
ruining the reputation of real breeders.
Facts.
I mean that in the nicest way to anybody that breeds ball pythons, but
Like I definitely I'm hating on them, but like I respect them. Like I know what they've done for this hobby, but
yeah, that's true. I mean they're and you've talked me out of it multiple times. I totally want to work with bamboo ball pythons.
I think you should, dude. I think everyone should have maybe at least one ball python.
You're not allowed to do that.
I have
you
one.
You give me shit for ball pythons, and then you're like, you don't do it. Don't do it. Just go ahead. Do something different. If you get a ball python, you're going to be that guy, and then now you're telling me,
no, you should get
one.
into rat snakes, dude. I can see you working with some sweet big rat snakes.
Yeah, I know. What is it? The Vietnamese blue beauties.
Yeah, those are sweet.
Those would be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to find some of those or the mandarins.
Mm-hmm. I love
those. Are awesome.
I love We had some at the store. I used to work with them. They're cool.
Or
my favorites are the mandarins and the. Have you heard of the 100 flower rat snakes?
I haven't heard of those.
Those are beautiful. You should check them out.
The king rats.
King rats are sweet. There's a person in Germany that works with crazy morphs of them. Like there's purple ones, dude. It's sweet.
But I'm sitting here talking about crossbreeding monitors and this, that, and the other, and I'm still one of those people that's like, and by far I get the privilege of having one of my dream lizards that I've had one in my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
I have a sulfur, so it's awesome the fact that I have one of my dream lizards that I get to play, but part of me wonders where we lose sight of the conservation of things when we start doing all these morphs.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, yeah,
there's a reason why AZA doesn't work with morphs.
Yeah, I mean, they're cool, they're pretty, sure, but like, look at the spider ball python.
Right? Jaguar jungle carpet. Or jaguar carpet, I should say, not jungle. But there's so many morphs like that. It's just, why do we breed them?
Right. And why do we continue?
For the money, that's why we breed them.
Right. Spider ball pythons, I think, are banned in Europe, or at least in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
So why do we continue to do it? And I mean, that's a topic for another show, but it's like, to me, that's what drew me to the monitor game when I came back into everything. There's not really morphs, or the one morph you hear about is the leucistic kingorums.
Yeah, or and like even black dragon and albino. That's about it.
Yeah, I mean, water monitors are getting crazy with the T+, T-neg, albinos.
Everything has morphs, but there's like a limit you can take it. When you have 60,000 plus ball pythons on morph market, you gotta realize that limit's been hit.
Well, and then like to trust somebody that it's het for this or het for that.
Don't even get us started on that topic.
If it's not visual, I mean, as many people as we've seen recently, that I mean, we hear it every day on these Facebook groups of such and such is a scammer, such and such is a scammer. I mean, I've bought 4 animals online. 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked to them multiple times.
Yeah.
Trusted that they were real. One person I found on Facebook found the same listing on Morph Marketplace. I was like, and that's where I got my leopard tortoise that's my son's now. But
I try to do all my deals in person. Like I will order online. I have before, but I try and do everything in person. It's easier that way.
Or in person-ish.
Yeah.
In person-ish. Which, speaking of which, I still need to figure out a way to get those
turtles. You need the turtles. When are you going to get into turtles? I know Emmett wants to. So when are you going to pull the trigger and start getting turtle ponds?
I have turtles.
You have tortoises.
I have turtles.
What turtles do you have?
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Florida snapping turtles. 5, 6 Florida snappers.
I keep forgetting you have the snappers.
I have the Florida snappers. Most of them are this big.
Oh,
But,
so they're still small.
but you also have Bowser, who's like that.
You gotta get a turtle for Emmett to play with. The pink bellies. They're for you. They're waiting for you.
I know. I'm talking about it.
I'm hoping I'm probably gonna be getting some albinos here in the next couple months. I know we were just talking about morphs, but I'm so dude. They're so pretty. Albino pink bellies. Yeah. Like the pink gets more vibrant. It's nuts.
You know what I found out? So you know how I want those ornate terrapins?
Diamondbacks, yeah.
Yeah, what is it? The ornate diamondback terrapins.
Yeah.
Because the Fish and Game here cannot tell the difference between whatever the Mississippi terrapin is and the northern ornate terrapin or diamondback terrapin is.
You're illegal.
All terrapins are illegal here.
Same here in Florida.
Dude, they also just
there's no permitting for them?
No.
Really?
No. They also just announced that king snakes. King snakes are all
Lamprey, including milk snakes, like everything in the Lamprey genus?
All king snakes. Not Lamprey. What was that noise? I don't know. Something just went bing.
I was messing with the beer.
No, that was definitely a computer noise. I don't know what it was. But
I was like, I just banged my beer.
I don't know. Well, I got the headphones on, so I have everything else muffled out except for computer noises, so it had to be from the computer. Don't mind me, squirrel. But yeah, king snakes. Anything that's a king snake is banned.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, what? When did this? Okay, I didn't even know. Like, they don't announce it anywhere, but it's like, oh, hey, you have this, and it might be potentially banned. And I'm like,
that's nuts.
I don't have anything. What are you talking about?
Yeah, turtles are really restricted here in Florida. I got to be careful with what I can get and what I don't get.
Well, I mean,
they're honestly restricted kind of everywhere. A lot of them are super endangered, so it makes sense.
But if we're allowed to be conservationists, then that's what we should be. But you have to have a degree, and you have to have a facility, and you have to have all this stuff. Which arguably, there's some facilities that call breeders asking questions because they don't know.
100%, yeah. I know, like, the alligator farm works with private people, a couple private people I can think of. I'm not going to name names, but I know there's a couple private people that they work with.
Yeah, and it's one of those things you have to because it's like you said, it's that one guy in the UK has all this information about Indicus complex.
He's writing the CITES paperwork and stuff.
Yeah. So, if you see all these Indicus here in the U.S. in AZA facilities, who are they getting all their information from?
Exactly.
I bet you some of them call Kai. At a certain point in time, I bet you some
I don't
of
even
them
know,
call
like, I don't even know if there's Indicus in the AZA. There probably is, but I don't know.
I'm sure somewhere.
That's one thing. Like, that's why I want to do my own private stuff, because I don't want to have restrictions what I can and can't work with.
Oh, that's great.
What?
No, I just got a text message from my wife saying that there's a storm rolling in, and my ducks are still outside roaming freely. So might have to cut short a little bit so I don't get killed. But
I guess we have.
Yeah, I think.
What else?
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say. I feel like we got pretty much into everything. We haven't really dove into turtles, but that could probably be its own episode at that point.
Yeah, you know everything. I mean, you know a lot about turtles. Let's be real.
I really don't. I only really got into turtles like 2 years ago. Like, I do know like a decent amount, but I go to a lot of people for information and stuff. Like anything medical or like species names. I have a friend I go to, and he helps me with everything.
Well, and we all need to have that friend.
It's about who you know, not what you know.
Yeah, I mean, like,
especially in like the turtle game, man. Like some of these turtles, like these expensive ass turtles you see online, they get produced so much. If you know the right person, you'll get them for free.
Oh, really? What about pink belly side necks?
When I get babies, I will give you some free babies. I promise you that. I won't
Well,
give
it's
you
the
my
same
adults for free, but I'll give you some babies for free.
You know, it's the same thing with it's kind of the same thing with tarantulas too. I mean, you can
Oh,
order some
yeah.
tarantulas. You order 3 tarantulas, and they throw you like 4 of them for free.
There's a lot of stuff like that. You just gotta know the right people, man. You can get hooked up really nice in the reptile game. Like, I don't think I've paid full price for a single thing that I have in my collection.
Thank you, Chris Jones.
Like, we got that.
Shout out.
We got the banana or that pied pectinata. He was charging He wanted $120 for it. It's a yearling.
Yeah.
We traded a ball python that I got for free for it, so I paid $0 for that pied pectinata.
I mean, that's kind of what we have to do sometimes.
Like, exactly, man. And I'd rather work with a pectinata than a ball python.
Wait till you start to meet a lot of these breeders and stuff, because you're well connected or because the podcast goes off, and then you have this really adorable child, and that really adorable child loves these animals, so they just go, "Here, you want this?
Yeah.
Merry Christmas." And
hey, if you ever want monkey tails, let me know. Maybe I'll hook you up in the future.
I do know somebody who's got a monkey tail right now.
For sale?
Yeah.
Oh, really? You should send I probably don't have the money for it right now, but send me the information. I want to add another female or two to my group.
I don't know if he's got a female or a male. It's Billy with AHP. He had one.
Okay.
I saw it a couple, or I guess it was a month ago now. But I think he still has it.
I'll have to check it out. I want some females, so I would love to add more to my group.
Okay, so I think you asked me this the last time. I'm going to ask you this. Any species legal to own in your state that you don't have to have a permit for, what would you have?
Any species. It would have to be a tricolor or a blue tail monitor. It would have to be. I don't know. Maybe a Saba black iguana, but dude, tricolor is the first thing that comes to my mind. That's my absolute dream monitor lizard.
So the tricolor over the what is it? What were we talking about earlier? The one with the white face.
The Saba black iguanas, yeah.
No, the
Nucleus. Oh yeah. I love Nucleus, but nothing comes close to the tricolor monitor in my eyes. They're gorgeous, and like there's some beautiful specimens here in the States. Like there are. I'm not going to say there's not, but if you start looking at some of these motherfuckers over like where they're from, they have some of the most like ones that are all gold. Like they're golden, and then they have the vibrant blues. Like they're a pretty monitor, and pray one day I can work with them.
So it's kind of how I don't even remember what I said because I get so much. That's kind of how I feel about sail fins. Like I would totally love to have a fleet of sail fin dragons.
Yeah, like Type Parks does at Iguanaland. There's a whole row of every single species.
Yes,
that would be so cool. That's how I want to do with the Indicus, and I want to do that with tree monitors too. The tree monitors are my second favorite complex of monitors. I love them.
Yeah, I do like them. I'm weird. Yellows are my favorite when it comes to
that's
tree
not
monitors.
weird. Yellows are dope as fuck. I respect that choice. My favorite's the Cordensis, but my second favorite has got to be between the blacks or yellows, I'd say.
I don't know.
They're pretty, man. They're gorgeous monitors. They're fun to work with. They're fun size. They do have some gnarly bites, though. I got bit by a full-grown adult male Persinus on my finger and swelled up pretty good for a few days.
So here's my thing, and this is why I haven't gotten a black dragon before until, recently. We might get one. I don't know if we are or not. But black dragons are cool if they're like that pitch black, almost look fake.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But a black lizard, like a lizard that's all black, doesn't. It's like. Yeah. It's got no color.
I agree.
So it's got no. Or it's got no markings, like you can't see anything.
I mean, look at my 2 favorite monitors are blue tails, or tricolors and blue tails, and they have 3 different colors, 4 different colors on them.
Right.
I love the colors, man. That's what does everything for me. If it's mean and it's got colors, I want it. Like that's chondros, perfect example. Like I used to have the green tree pythons, and I'm saving up now to get a big collection again. Just expensive.
Emerald tree boas. I
would get into emerald tree boas too. I want to get into both basins and northerns, but I love northerns the most.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, yellow tree monitors would be cool. I would love to do a big giant, kind of like Justin's got with his greens.
I would honestly, I would want to do a fucking, you know me, a grow tent.
Don't you do it,
dude? I would do it. I would do it.
I'm not doing a grow tent.
I would personally.
I use grow tents for my tomatoes. That's it.
No, I would do I want to do big everything, man. As soon as I go outside, everything I have, or as soon as I get a property, everything I have is going outside.
Actually, you know what I do have? Well, you're in Florida, you can do that.
Exactly. That's why I would.
But I actually have in my grow tent out in the building, I got eucalyptus trees growing.
How's that going?
Whether they're really eucalyptus tree, I don't know. They're about yay big.
Oh, they're small.
So, yeah, we grew them from seeds.
Oh, that's sweet.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. So, episode 3 will be coming.
Should we bring on a guest for episode 3? Or try to?
I'm thinking so.
Maybe get Chris on.
Well, that's might be easy. I don't know about next week because we're trying to finish up the mammal building, so trying to get him and I narrowed or tied down at the same time would be a little difficult.
I can talk to people. I might be able to get someone on. We'll figure it out. We'll get someone cool.
Maybe we can do it. Maybe we can do a bearded dragon one, and have your girlfriend come on.
Talk about
and that would kind of tie in. Well, I was thinking about. So some of us have significant others that like animals.
Some don't.
And some of us have significant others that hate the animals. I wouldn't say hate them, but get very annoyed.
Hope you all enjoyed this podcast. Episode 2 went down in the books. We're gonna do weekly uploads, guys. We're gonna make this a weekly thing.
Weekly thing.
We have the handles of our social medias right here in the corner. Go ahead, like the video, comment down below, give us your opinions on the podcast. If you guys know anything about parthogenic eggs, let us know. I hope to see you next time.
Any ideas for next week or the following week? Or
if you guys have any guests y'all would like us to bring on, let us know. We can try and make it happen. Probably won't be for a little while because we're just starting out, but we'll make something happen.
We got to try to get our names out there a little bit. But we'll make it happen for you guys. Again, we're just like you guys. We don't know everything. But if you have questions, we'll try to get you the right answer.
We're using this podcast as a way to grow ourselves and also help others grow and learn more about these animals and exotic stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
All
right, guys.
All right, y'all. Peace out.